This past 4th of July weekend don't owe me nothing. I am Miss Juneteenth, and in case y'all ass is not aware, I did. Yes, I did win the sexy leg contest. But none of this, I mean, none of it would not have been possible without the help of my neutral burst and my lasso tee. Yes, God, honey, it is never too late for you to start looking good and looking sexy. And don't get it twisted. Y'all seen all this shopping I've been doing. It's real good money in selling tea and selling NutriBurst. So listen, baby, if you want to be competition for me, if you want to compete in next year's sexy leg contest, or if you at least want to buy a couple pieces of designer clothes to drape over your not so sexy legs, please be sure to drop that in the description box. Click the link to buy these products or join my sales team. Bye. Nessa girl, I'm trying to figure out what in the hell going on. I left you in charge of things for one weekend while I was out and about trying to win the sexy leg contest, and I come back and Kanye running for president. Lord, we need to talk about it. Here you go. Now, so girl, I went down to the pool this weekend and I strutted my ass from the east to west and showed off these legs because I got them the best. Yes, darling, you are looking at Miss Juneteenth 2020 and the official winner of the South Florida Miss Sassy Leg Contest, baby. Yes, God. And in the midst of me being silly and getting all my life and then some, I get back on the line and found out Kanye West done announced that his ass is running for president. I just got off the phone with one of my good girlfriends from college, and I was saying, when it comes to Kanye West, I honestly have to believe that he is truly suffering from mental illness. And that is the only thing that will give me the stamina to continue to hold out any hope for this brother and just not completely abandon him and throw him away. I have to believe that he needs help. Help him, Lord. I have to believe that Kanye needs help. And, oh, something is in my eye. And the reason why I am able to have this level of compassion for Kanye West is because I think back to my brother, who's paranoid schizophrenic, and how before the family was aware that he had this issue, we treated him as somebody who was voluntarily not holding down a job, being difficult, going against the grain, when unbeknownst to us, he had mental issues and his brain was just not operating at full capacity. And so once I realized that, we were able to help him in the way that he truly needed help. That experience may have tainted me for the negative as it relates to Kanye, but I just have to believe, y'all, that he don't know what he doing. I have to believe that. The unfortunate thing, though, is that what kind of makes you sometimes feel like he know what he doing is that he always finds a way to agitate the shit out of us in a way that is self-serving to him. So it's like, on one token, we're to believe that your brain is defective, but it ain't defective enough to operate in a way that caters to your best interest. This Kanye for president thing is just another one of his delusions of grandeur, which fit into his narcissistic personality disorder. And if we are to believe that narcissism is a mental illness or a mental disorder, then it has to also be possible for me to believe that this disorder can fit and run concurrently with many other disorders. Y'all, something ain't right You know, he went from college dropout to, you know, when he get put on, leave you for a white girl. Then he essentially got with a white girl. And I don't know if it's the hoodoo that she do so well, or what kind of perfume she sprayed in her puss that made this man like this. But when he was with Alexis, the Delta, oh, he wasn't acting like this. The Delta's gonna be real mad on this feed. I don't even give a care. It's ooh. I hit my note though, bitch. Don't be mad at me, DST. You know I love y'all. I was a Delta in my past life. Matter of fact, me and Mary McLeod Bethune went to school together and pledged. Nevertheless, this is just disheartening, because when it comes to this political process and this next election, black people cannot afford any distractions, especially one as large as the waves, that Kanye West will make. There is nothing worse than a lunatic with resources. A wild cannon, a loose cannon with resources. A tweet alone from Kanye can cause a lot of damage socially. And it's troubling, especially when at this point it's life or death when it comes to voting, and that our votes need to be concentrated in one area. Like I said, for black, I've said this on previous videos, when it comes down to black people at this point, unfortunately, we don't have the luxury in this election of voting issues. You know, we can sit back and tell the Democratic Party, we can tell Joe Biden, we got a laundry list of demands, this, that, and the third, but the reality of the situation is they have us by the balls. Joe Biden and the Democratic Party don't have to offer us shit, and we are still forced to have to vote for them, because the Democratic Party not offering us shit is a hell of a lot better than what we're getting from Donald Trump and the Republicans, and it is just the true reality of the situation. I want to share with y'all, while we're talking politics, a quote that I stumbled across this weekend that opened up my mind to something. For so long, people have been advocating for the creation of a third party. You know, we need another party. We need more than Democratic and Republican Party. And the quote at the top of it, and I haven't fact checked this, but it said Theodore Roosevelt, and it was implying that Theodore Roosevelt said this. But the quote was, a third party government system would not work, because the vote would be split between the two candidates whose platform most closely identifies with a person's beliefs and ideology, ensuring that that other party that's different from those two wins every time. What do I mean? In simple terms, if you had Joe Biden running for president, Bernie Sanders running for president, and Donald Trump running for president, Donald Trump would automatically win, because the people who would vote Democratic, their vote would be split between Bernie and Biden, and there would not be enough potency with either of those candidates to beat the person whose platform differs from theirs gravely. And it made me say, wow, you know what? You've got a point. You've got actually a very poignant point that mathematically makes sense. And when I went down to Florida State University and got my degree in economics, those people taught me a whole lot about things that mathematically make sense. And so it's made me say, all right, if a third party is not an option for said example that I've given you guys earlier, then y'all, we got to work with the one that we have to try to revamp things and skew things in our favor. I will say this, I am very, very, very pleased that we are still having conversations about a black woman being the person needed in order for Biden to win this election. You know, before we celebrate Biden and his camp and the Democrats for doing this. I think it's worth noting that in 2020, these people still are not doing this from the goodness of their hearts. They've just realized, and they're not doing it because they feel it's time. They're doing it because they've run the numbers. And after the conclusion of the Florida gubernatorial race with Andrew Gillum and Ron DeSantis, and Georgia with Stacey Abrams and Brian Kemp, they realized that black voters are disenfranchised and that voter apathy at this point is very real. And black people are just at a point where they really are like, fuck it, we ain't gonna win one way or another. And we've always, see, one advantage that black people have always had over white people is that we've always managed to live under these circumstances. I mean, we were slaves. We survived and still found a way to maintain during Reconstruction and the Jim Crow South. So working through obstacles and making a lot with the little is nothing new for black people. Unfortunately, it's our baseline and it is our norm. You ask any black grandmother right now, what meal can I prepare for 13 people that'll feed them good with $17? And Big Mama gonna feed you like a king. We know how to make a lot with little. So with that, and the voter suppression and every damn thing else that's going on in this country, it is very easy. While I don't recommend it nor agree with it, it is very easy for black people to throw their hands up in the air and just say, fuck it. And the Democrats realize that in order to get Trump out of this office, they need that vote, and that they are going to have to pander to us in some regard. Now, if we get a black woman in there, I think that the President Obama administration has showed us that the next time we do get a president in office of color, that they are going to have to target black people a little more specifically and do a few extra things for black people. A lot of people make the argument that Obama did absolutely nothing for black people. And I completely understand how some people could arrive at that conclusion, but I have to push back and ask the question, well, how are you measuring value? Are you, because value can be intrinsic and it can be tangible. As it relates to intrinsic value, what Obama did for black people was showed my little nephew, who actually was born, my nephew and my niece, that were born during his administration, that a black person can be the president of the United States, which translates to a black person can be any high-ranking position in the U.S. because we had a black man in the highest ranking position that there is in the U.S. Up until Donald Trump was elected, all my niece and nephew knew was that the president was black. So in their mind, the correlation is the president is a black person. That's a great association to make, considering the fact that I was born in 1983, and in 5th grade, when Miss Van Dyke asked me to stand up and say, what do you want to be when you grow up? In a class of 35 students, no one ever said president, because we just knew hands down that a black person could not and would not be the president of the United States. So again, we have to assess what we mean by he hasn't done anything for black people. Did he specifically write a bill or cut us a check directly because you're black? No, he did not. But there was much value to be garnered out of that. And we have to also keep in mind that while he opened that door, it was important that he kept the door open. Had Obama got in there and been the black people's president, you know what I'm saying? Unfortunately, the power structure in this country would not have allowed us to ever rebound from this. White folks would have took that and said, see how unfair it is? You got a black person in there and all he did was did stuff for black people. It's racist, it's discriminatory. They would have done to us they would have done to us and complained about the very thing that they are actively doing to us, and pretend like they don't understand, by the way. But because they maintain the lion's share of the power, they would have ensured that another person of color ever gotten any type of office of any significance. So it was important that Obama played his cards right. I do think with the momentum that the Black Lives Matter movement has gotten, just with the cultural renaissance that this country is going through right now, that if we were to get a person of color, a black person in that VP seat, Akeisha Lance Bottoms or somebody, I think that the world right now would be slightly more receptive to legislation and that targets black people and minority communities. I think the world is slowly getting there. You know, one thing that I do like about this whole Karen movement, and I was going to make this a separate video, but I want to touch on it right now. We are beginning to see that it's really them goddamn white women. We are starting to see it is really them damn white women. I've said this countless times, that the white woman is America's semi-precious jewel. The world, America, is groomed to believe that the world is crumbling at the sight of the white woman's tears. The white woman is put on this earth and she is groomed to believe that her comfort and her preferences is all that matters. And she is to have any and everything her heart desires. And if she doesn't, and if she makes a fuss, her white man will come behind her and see to it that she is comfortable. This country and this world, this country rather, not the world, this country is truly built to support and to sustain the comfort of the white woman. And what I like about this Karen movement is that it is beginning to highlight to sensible white people how outrageous some of their unchecked entitlement is. It is just freaking outrageous. I just posted a video on my Facebook page of a white woman sitting down in the middle of Costco and throwing a damn tantrum because a white manager asked her to please put on her mask and that it was company policy. And this lady insisted that she had a health issue and she would not. And the lady said, well, I get that you have a health issue, but can you have your health issue outside? Because, ma'am, the policy said we have to say X, Y, Z. And it's just so weird that there is a section of this population who is so used to having the world bend and mold to their every want and desire, that when someone gives you a simple directive in a gentle, loving tone, can you please wear a mask, that your world falls apart, that you feel like you are being oppressed or a right is being stripped away from you. I don't understand these people out here who, you know, just like that lady in Central Park, that man asked her, can you please put your leash on your dog? And just the thought of somebody else's comfort preferences coming before hers, despite the fact that it was a law, was enough to send her into a tizzy. I am here to tell you that is not mental illness. That is the unconscious and subtle way that white people are indoctrinated and groomed in this country. That's just the true tea. This video is supposed to be about Kanye. I don't even know what it's about at this point. I'm just enjoying what I'm talking about because I woke up this morning just in this political spirit as I was it started with the Kanye stuff. I was looking at that, then it made me go down a bigger rabbit hole. Focus, Quentin. Let me get back on task here, because y'all clicked to hear me talk about Kanye. You know, all of this might be a scheme that Todd set up for him to come to us with the bullshit. You know, I am not convinced that the Donald Trumps and the Mitch McConnells of the world are not going to pull every stop out that they can make to try to maintain power and hinder and block and stop the progression and the momentum of this renaissance and this revolt and this rebranding of America and this great awakening that we're going through. If somebody was to tell me, you know, in the background, Donald Trump promised Kanye lots of money, lots more status and acceptance into the white boys club in exchange for distracting the shit out of us and trying to steal some of these damn votes away from Biden, I wouldn't be surprised. I'd be, that's one conspiracy theory I'd be willing to follow. And the question that I have is, where is Kris Jenner? You know, Kriss, you do a very good job of doing whatever you need to do to protect the Kardashian clan brand. Dealing and dabbling in politics, this can't be for the glory of the kingdom, aka the Kardashian clan. Can nobody over there control Kanye? Like, when y'all sit down at dinner, y'all don't talk to him. Kim, like, and granted, it ain't none of our business. But Kim, you don't sit down with him at night and ask him about his medications, or maybe he should see somebody, or maybe Kanye, you shouldn't do this, or you shouldn't do that. Kanye people, does Kanye even have any black friends left? Like, if he does, what are y'all saying? And granted, I understand that it is not Beyonce and Jay-Z's responsibility to save the world, but he want to be y'all friend so bad. Could y'all just step back in and like pretend to be his friend so y'all can control him just until we can get through what's going on? And then after we get the political house and the White House straight, then y'all could go back to not being his friend and let him run amok with all his money and his crazy but genius ideas. Like, something has got to give. Kendall Jenner seemed to be the only one that's sane right now. I mean, can she call him? Can we get the Hollywood medium to summons Donda West spirit so she could whisper in his ear? He ain't got no aunts. And it's like, Kanye, this stuff hurts because, for one, much like many white people in positions of power, everything and all that you are was built off the back of black people. Kanye, your music only went platinum because you was talking that shit that resonated with us. And then you were so conscious, and you were able to achieve the things that Common and the rest of the conscious rappers and artists were unable to do. You made that shit mainstream, and you made it cool, and you made it all right to be woke. And somehow or another, you fell back asleep, or you were so woke that you got delirious, and now your actions are counter the very liberation that you were trying to lead us through into. I don't get it. And for somebody who has a brother who has mental illness, I carry a level of guilt because I look at all the years that I was not in the know of what was going on, and my brother was just going down this downward spiral, you know, sleeping in an abandoned car, not taking care of his health and his hygiene. You know, it went on for some years. Kanye's Village, Kim, this one is on y'all. Kriss, y'all cannot tell me that as a clan that there's not enough power for y'all to corral this man and get him the help and the treatment that he needs. But y'all are so busy being publicity whores that any and everything he does, y'all find a way to make it benefit y'all financially without any regard of the damage that it causes to the greater good. The Kardashian clan, Kris Jenner, and all the subsidiary people that subordinate the whole Kardashian and Kanye brand, y'all need to do better at being global citizens. You know, I could almost accept this behavior if y'all was some hood bitches that was looking for $2 to scrape together, trying to make $1 out of 15 cents. And they say you shouldn't count nobody else's coins. Y'all don't need no more money. Like, there has to be a point in which we draw a line in the sand and say money is no longer the motivating force. Y'all don't need no... Well, you know what? I just answered my own question. When they no longer need money, they get in search of power. They get thirsty for power. So I imagine that's what Kanye is doing. But here's the sad part, Kim and Kriss, which y'all finna have to deal with. Y'all see the tantrum, the rich white woman tantrum that Kanye had when Prada and all of them wouldn't accept him and didn't want his fashions and so on and so forth. He threw a damn fit. What do y'all think is going to happen when this man try to fill out some paperwork or try to be 2 shades of serious about this presidential situation, and he gets completely, you know, knocked on his ass when he realizes ain't nobody finna deal with this crazy ass shit coming out his damn mouth? You know, the only person who will remotely vote for Kanye West for president is the same people who was taking the Tide Pod challenge and scarfing down fucking laundry detergent. Them about the only crazy, because anybody with 2 damn brain cells, half a brain cells, realizes that this is just not a good idea for anyone involved. Somebody please come get this damn woman. Matter of fact, Kanye, I'm gonna tell you what you need to do. You need to get you some NutriBurst. And you need to get you some detox tea and detox this shit up out you. Cause something with that again, hell, the NutriBurst had Trina ass saying that goddamn crazy shit that she was saying on the radio, and had Stormy saying the crazy shit too. Maybe the NutriBurst is what's making these hoes crazy. I don't know. It ain't making me crazy. The NutriBurst making me woke. Nevertheless, y'all, that's all I got. I ain't got no more. I'm trying to get in here and get y'all some of this reality TV stuff. Y'all been asking me about Married to Medicine LA. And I'm gonna be honest with you, y'all. It's just been hard for me lately to do the reality TV stuff with so much other heavier social political stuff on my heart and that's going on. Like, I haven't watched Married to Medicine LA now for like 3 or 4 episodes. And I just feel like I'm betraying myself by taking the time to go sit here and watch 3 hours of fucking Married to Medicine LA when I need to be breaking down some other complex socio-economic, socio-political issues to help enlighten my people and lead us to salvation. What Dr. Imani and her husband going through really is of no consequence to us right now. So that's all I got. I ain't got no more. Don't be surprised if I jump back on here in my bag, because I got a lot going through my head, especially since I won the Sexy Leg contest this weekend. Y'all hoes can't tell me nothing, bitch. And I mean that. And I'll call y'all later. Bye. Funky Dineva Ross for president.